Now that we are done with developing this kind of model monitoring dashboard, in the previous video we developed this for XGP model. Now we will move forward, and what we will do is we are going to be automating all the pre-processing work which we had done in the beginning in this development, right? So all those kind of pre-processing which we are going to automate in a way so that next time that can be used as library or module, right? So you would simply require to import that and then perform the just apply the input data and it will do all the processing into it. Okay, and after that what we will do is all the three models which we trained into this particular tutorial, I'm going to save that in a way so that you can share that with your friends, colleagues, everyone or whomsoever you want to share it. Okay, and then after that, once you share that with your colleagues or folks, whoever you want to, they all that they would require to do is just load that model and supply the input data. That will automatically do its work, and that will give you the prediction. So yeah, but it is important that before supplying the data should be in pretty much well format, otherwise it will not give the proper result whatever is expected. Okay, now that is also done, and automated modules will be used. The clean pre-processing process which we talked that we will be automating that. After automating that, we will again see how to import that and reuse that. Okay, and then we will also see how to reuse the saved models. All right, so without any further delay, let's just start with it. Okay, so to start it, what I'm going to do is I'll just open a new Jupyter notebook page, right? And after that, it's just going to be copy paste, honestly. Okay, so let me just come back over here. This is our main code, and out of which we need to just do the copy paste work. Okay, so first of all the libraries which are needed, that I'm going to import over here. Okay, now this is done. Next thing, let me just go slow so that I don't miss any of the part. I'm trying to look for all the libraries which have been imported so far into this entire processing work. First part which we had at the very beginning, that we had already copied pasted. Now this is also done. Next, what's next? This is done. This we will copy during the automation. These are the major chunk which we need to copy paste. Okay, what else that we got? Anything else? Anything else? Is there anything else? Let me just have a look. Well, I don't think that there is anything else which is left to do the import. Okay, so we are pretty much done with putting all the library which are needed. Okay, now the next thing which comes is automating all the pre-processing work. So for that, I'm going to create a function. Let's call it def, and I'm going to say model pre-processing. Okay, and into this. All right, let it first complete its execution. That is done. Now we will just go at the top again over here, right over here, and let me just see. We have our data frame over here imported, and then it comes over here where this is the data which is being supplied. This is the part which we require over here. So this is just to filter out the data basis on age to remove the outliers in which we had in age. Now this part, now comes this part, age removed, cr age removed. This is done. Next, this is not needed. This is also not needed. This is also not needed, but let me just do this, otherwise I would require to do more work. So let me just copy paste this and this as well. I just want to avoid any sort of confusion, that's why I'm taking everything, even if it's a normal copy. I mean, if that is important, then only. So here I'm just putting this, copied, pasted. No, this line is not needed for pre-processing, so I'll just remove that part. Done. This is also coming from here, and then next part is this. This is done. Next part is over here. Let me just copy this and put right over here. All right. This is also done. Next comes over here from standard scaler. It's something which we are going to pay. Putting over here, standard scaler is done. Then after that, this is just nothing but just taking the list of columns, so that is not needed. And over here I will just put this one, then this is not needed. Then this part, this is also done. After this is group by thing, not required, and this is done. Then comes this part. Okay, that is also done. Then comes, I think this is something I had already imported smooth. If not, then let me import it right over here. I don't need to do that at the bottom side. Okay, and this instance creation is something which I will consider in the automation part only. And then this is split. This is it. We are done with this. So this will particularly return us the balanced features and target. So if we require this anywhere, we can use that. Though we don't require to balance it again, right? We don't really require to balance it, but just I'm putting it just in case if you want to utilize that in some other way, you would be able to do that. Now I'll do a little bit of commenting part over here, and let me just say outliers treatment, outliers treatment. Then after this is done, this is also done. Then here the data is dumped. After this missing value treatment, let me just say missing values treatment, missing values treatment. This is also done. This is copied, data is copied, credit data category treated. This is also done. Then after that, what else comes in? This part is done. And person home ownership, this is okay. This is categorical variables treatment. Okay, categorical variables treatment done. This is done, and this is also done. Done. And after this, here comes the scaling part. Though you don't even require to do the scaling, not necessarily, but in your input data, even if you don't do the scaling, it should be fine. Okay, it should be fine, I guess. Okay, but let me just do this scaling the data, and scaling and combining. Scaling, after scaling, all the things are being combined over here, and over here this comes as, this will be let me just see what it is. This will be just features and targets creation, features and target creation. And then over here comes smooth balancing. That is also done. Super. All the things are done. Now you remember, you know what, so for this purpose, what we are doing the scaling on is that's something I'm just trying to keep the format same. So otherwise, if you want, what you can do is, even if you don't do the scaling, just convert your data into, you can just convert the you can just do the character values treatment, and after that you can try to utilize the data. After that you can directly try to utilize the data in your model. Okay, so data to scale, over here we have this data to scale. I will also try to return this into it, and at the end we need to return the output. Return the final data sets. Okay, and over here what I'm going to say is return this data, which is data to scale, the data which we have prepared, which we already have ready available over here for the scaling purpose. That's something which we will be utilizing, data to scale. Then after that, whatever features that goes into it, then after that whatever targets that we have and goes into it, and then this too. All right, so all is done, this all are done. Okay, let me just see, it is created. Now I will just do the testing of this, whether this is fine or not, and once that is tested I will save this and then I will show you how to utilize that. Okay, so let me very quickly do the testing of this data, and for that purpose what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and let me import this. Here I'm going to say df, and here also I need to make supply the data frame, put the condition to supply data frame. And now out of this, as soon as the data set is supplied, basis on this condition, that will be stored into it, and then rest of the things will go as it is. Right over here also I need to put the data frame. Okay, that is done. Next comes this, and then after this what we're gonna get is model. Ooh, yes, model pre-processing. Okay, and inside that let me put df, and after this all these data sets, if you're looking to create all these data sets, that you need to put over here. I mean, naming convention can be different, right? Naming convention, whatever you want, you can just put. And let's just give it some time. Okay, the processing is done, and let's just check data to scale dot head. Good, so we got this data, right? Data to scale, this is what we got. And then let's just see features. This is the scaled data. Then balanced features, very good, excellent. Then target, this is also done, and then this is over here. Okay, done, super. After this is done, I'm going to remove this as well, and let's just save this. Over here I'm going to say pd model pre-processing pd model. All right, this is done. Rename and save this. Super, that is saved, and I would require to download it as .py file from here. Once this is downloaded, I need to put it in the working directory where all of my Jupyter notebooks are saved. Now, if you want to know where your working directory is, so for that purpose, you can just write one small command, and that is import os, and after that os.get current working directory, get cwd, right? So this is the location which I need to look for. So here I have the downloaded the automation which I just did, that is available right over here. And after that, just come back right here, and from here I'm just going to remove this. It just does not require that. Okay, so this is over here, this is where I need to put this particular program. So I'll just copy this and paste it right over here. All right, this is done. Here we got this, yeah, pre-processing PD model. This is what we needed to do. Now after this, the next thing which I need to do is I will save the models, though that is not needed to further utilize that particular module, but I'm just trying to keep it in a sequence. Okay, so let's just see where we have first created our, where have we created our first model. Done. This is done, and this is also done. Done, 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 done. This is done. Where we have here comes our first model. Here model training was done, and just after this what I'll do is I'll import pickle. So if you don't have this already installed in your machine, you would require to install it. If you struggle to install it, do let me know. I'll create a I'll give you the syntax how to install this. Okay, nothing much, just do pip install. You can simply do Google, you'll find it. Okay, and after this and in the previous video also I have captured it how to install the pickle, so I'll try to put that in somewhere. Okay, now over here you need to say with open, and here I'm going to say logistic PD model, PD model, logistic PD model dot pkl, and over here I'm going to say write binary as file, and over here what I need to do is I need to say pickle dot dump, and into this I'm going to write the name of my model, which is locate, and after that here I need to put file. Oops, dump. Module pickle has no attribute dump. It should be dump, not dump. How can I do that? Okay, so this is done. Now what I can do is this particular model is done. Ideally it should be available into its working directory. So let me refresh it over here. Now you see over here logistic PD model, this is done. Next one is random forest. Now where the fitting was done, right over here, and after that I'm going to just pick this, copy paste this just to keep it quick, right? Random forest PD model, this is also done, and over here I need to put RF. This is done. Let's just see, I didn't imported the pickle because you are aware library is something which we need to import only once. So this is also done. Next is XGB model. So here the training was done. Just after this I'm going to put that XGB model right over here. Here I'm going to say XGB PD model. All right, this is done. Let's just save this as well. Super. Now here we are done with automating the pre-processing work, and here we are done with saving the model. Now let's just go back in this folder and see if all of those are available here or not. Super excellent. Logistic model is available right over here, random forest is here, and XGP model is right over here. All the three things are available. Now the time comes when we need to use these all things, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import open a new workbook file over here, and I don't need to do all this, right? So here I'm simply going to say import, and the automation which I had done, what was the name of that? If you remember, this is the one, right? This is the one I need to do, right? As prepro, that's what the name I'm going to give it. And like you can see here, I'm just importing it the way we do the pandas import, right? The way we do the pandas import, that the same way we are doing this. Now, once this is done, everything that you had available, all these prerequisites, library, and everything is imported into it. Now, you don't trust my words, just check it out. dir, and here you say prepro. All that you need to do is just say prepro, and after that you're going to get the list. Now you see all the libraries that are available over here: numpy, pd, pandas, matplotlib, cborn, trend test split, everything is available into it. And the function which we had created, model pre-processing, this one, model pre-processing, is also created over here. Where do you see model pre-processing? This is the one that is also done. Super. Now the next thing which we need to do is just import our data and do the pre-processing. Okay, so for that I'm going to create a data frame part, and for that what I'll do is I'll directly pick that from here. This one, just come back over here and let's just put right over here df, or you can say anything, right? Whatever the name you want to give, you just give it to it. Oops. Wow. Okay, so now from this library, if you want to use pandas, so what you would require to say is prepro.pd.readcsv, right? That is done. Now df, you just check it out. Here you go. Here you have the data imported. Now the time comes when we require to use that model again. So if I have forgotten that, what is that name? Model preprocessing. Model preprocessing. No, model preprocess. What was that exactly the name? Preprocessing. I'm just missing the name of that. Do you guys remember it? Okay, let me just check it out. dir prepro, and inside this model preprocessing, this was the function name, right? And inside that I'm going to put my data frame, and that I need to store how many features that we had created, how many data frames that we had created, all these data frames. So I'm simply just going to how many are there? This must be 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so let's just put this name, scalable data, just ignore the spelling error if there is any. Scalable data, then here I'm going to say features, and here I'm or you can also say inputs, status, actuals, rather we can say actuals, and then here I'm going to say balanced input and balanced actual. This is done. Looks like model preprocessing is not defined. What was the name? Model preprocessing is defined, in fact. Why it is saying that it is not defined? There seemed to be some issue. I just need to look into this. It must be working. I get it. The challenge is this is part of this file. So rather I should say prepro dot model preprocessing. Now this will work. Done. Now let's just check scalable data dot head. Done. This is looking perfect, isn't it? Yeah, this is looking perfect. Now let's just check the balanced inputs, rather I can check dot head. Headers must be same. In the input we have these columns also created, which we don't have available over here, right? So because this was for the scaling purpose, into this character variable statement we had not done and concatenated. So this is the perfect data to use in our model though. So what is it if you don't want to use the scaled data in your see, this has the scaling done. You don't necessarily require to do the scaling before using the data, or maybe if you want scaling, it's something if you want you can do. And again the problem is, in the previous video you might have seen that I created the tree models like random forest model and xgp models, and into that I utilized the scaled data, which does not make much sense. In tree based models scaled data does not require, right? So I used that over there for the learning purpose, and you saw that we tried to calculate the feature importance, etc., everything over there, right? So for that purpose it worked well. But in practical life, if you are building the tree based models, you don't necessarily need to scale your data. What you can do is you can just do the pre-processing and you can use that. Why? Because tree based models works in stage label classification. It picks one attribute, then does the classification, then another, and then does the classification. If you'd like to understand that in detail, do let me know, I'll explain that. Okay, so over here, let's come back to the point over here. And now that we have our data available, this is the data which we will be using in our models to test I mean, whatever models that we have created, we're just going to utilize that, how to use that. Okay, that's what we are going to see. Now this is the data which I will be using. Other than this, what you can do is, if you want to use this absolutely raw data, I mean, when I say raw, means treatment of missing values and the outlier, after that you just concatenate these parameters into it, and then you can utilize that, because it is important to supply all those features which we had supplied at the time of training our model. Okay, now the time comes when we should try to utilize our models into it. So again, I'm going to say import pickle. Now let's say that somebody has shared these three models with you, right? These three models has been shared by somebody with you. Now you see how you would utilize this. Okay, so for that we can say with open, and out of this, the file first, this is the one I'm going to use. Let's just put this, and here let's just say rb as file, and over here I'm going to say pickle dot load, and over here let's say file. Super. Now I'm going to import all the three. Logistic is done, then random forest, is done. Then the next one is XGB model. I'm importing all the three, and then we can try to check it out. Okay, let me just copy paste it over here and come back over here, and let's just do this over here, right? Let's just put it. Super, this is done. Now the next thing is utilizing the model. Logistic, what is it that I had created? Logistic, not logistic PD model, and inside this, okay, there is one thing which I should do, and that is this. I just missed this part, sorry for that. And this one, okay, this is also done, this is also done. Done. And this comes now. If you would try to check it out, you would get logistic PD model, and inside this, let's just supply the input, but here we need to use predict, and logistic prediction. Here we got the logistic prediction, and let's just run that. Oh, it just gave the error. What is the error? Here it says input array module, this it is a single sample. There seemed to be some issue over here. Let me just investigate it. What's the issue? Inputs. Let me just try to use inputs right over here. Okay, that is done. And let's just try to see the output which we got. Ooh, we got it. Now let's just try to print the classification report. Classification. Okay, so from sklearn dot metrics import classification model, classification report, and from here I can say classification report, and inside this let's just put the actuals which we had created, and then logistic prediction, and let me put it into the print statement. All right, excellent. So here we got the things which we were looking for. Now you see all these three models are loaded into it. You can go ahead and use these three models, right? And if you want, you can just share this with your friends also. These three models, you can share it with your friends and they can also try to utilize that in the same way. Here I just showed you how to utilize this logistic model. Now the way I utilize it in these three lines, same way you try to utilize these two models also, and let me know what is the performance that you got, what was your experience, right? So I think it was very much clear to you. Just to summarize it very well, what we did is, first we tried to automate the pre-processing work. Now remember, every time when you are getting the data, you would not necessarily require to do the missing value treatment. Sometime you may get missing, sometime you may not get, and sometime in some of the attributes you will get, and sometime in other attributes you will get. Here the missing value treatment which I have done, that was done in loan interest rate. There could be a high possibility that the same set of data, if I'm getting next time, this particular attribute would this particular feature would not have any missing, but the other feature which would have other missing value. So in this automation, that particular scope is still there, and which I highly recommend you to put your mind and try to automate that part also. What you can do is, you can put the condition, if any attribute, any feature has missing value, then only apply this particular technique on that, otherwise just skip that. Here I had hard coded it just to keep it simple, but I highly encourage you to do that, to do this automation in a very dynamic way, right? Or if you want me to do this, just let me know into the comment section. I will be more than happy to do it for you and show you how you can do that, but it requires to be dynamic. Here it is very very static, very very hard coded thing, which is not good in the practical life. But here I just wanted to show you a practice video, or maybe what I can say means something which can give you the direction. That's what I wanted to show you over here, which I have tried over here. Now let me know if you were successful in doing this or not. If you face any challenge, do let me know into the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you out. Until then, happy learning. Wish you very very all the best.